Hello and welcome to another video, and today I thought it'd be time to throw my hat in the ring and talk about microtransactions in games and EA and everything. EA is kind of where this has come to a head in the past week, but I felt it was important to talk about the situation as a whole. And let's go ahead and dive in. So honestly, right now, the big hot button item in gaming right now is microtransactions. And honestly, it has been a big deal for a while. As we were rolling into this fall, a lot of games coming out this fall have been succumbing to loot crates and microtransactions and all of this kind of stuff. And some have done it tastefully, others not so much. EA's, latest game, Star Wars Battlefront 2, is a prime example of the way not to do it, and it's become more and more apparent in the last couple of weeks that this game is kind of a microtransaction mess. However, what the collective internet thinks they've won this battle with EA, and I'll throw up the picture of the best meme I've seen of everything in this entire situation, but my favorite part about it is, this game is still going to sell, people are still going to buy it. You haven't won anything. The battle, isn't over. Does this mean that it's going to diminish the sales of this game because some people are canceling their pre-orders, some people are swearing this game off? Yes, I do think that the game will definitely be reflective at the end of the day, but is it going to stop every single person from buying Star Wars Battlefront 2? Absolutely not. People are still going to go out in droves and buy this game. I'm still picking up my copy. I've seen all the controversy, I've seen every side of it, and you might be on the other side of the camera saying, hey, that's crazy, you should boycott this game or whatever. You know what, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. I played the EA trial. I enjoyed what I played of it. I thought it was cool. I think there's a lot of cool content in that game, and I think the campaign, from what I've played, is pretty enjoyable. So I'm still picking up my copy of the game. I'm still going to be reviewing it for the channel, and you guys got to remember, I don't get sent free shit. Every game that I review for this channel, I've paid for myself. If I go out and I buy a new game and I think it sucks, I spent money on it. And I'll tell you guys, I'll be straight honest with you if I think a game sucks or something, but this is a game that I've kind of been looking forward to. I enjoyed some aspects of the original Battlefront, but the biggest draw for me in this game specifically is the single-player campaign, and that part of it I don't think is going to be looted with microtransactions, but we could be wrong. But I think there's a bigger picture that's been boiling over for the past couple of months with loot crates and microtransactions and stuff, so I thought today we'd take a time for me to share not only my viewpoints on this whole controversial topic right now in the gaming world, but where I kind of stand with it, what I think is acceptable for a loot crate, and where I think it's kind of bullshit. So we'll start by saying that when you're doing loot crates correctly, it shouldn't hinder anything that you're doing in the game. You should be throwing out loot crates for things that change any kind of gameplay, or throwing out essentially what I would call a pay-to-win model. Let's say John goes out and buys a copy of Battlefront 2. We'll use Battlefront 2 as an example because that's the game that everybody's talking about right now. Let's say John over here on this column, he goes out, he buys Battlefront 2, and let's say Tim over on this column goes out and he buys a copy of Battlefront 2. John has a lot of disposable income, and he decides, hey, I have a lot of disposable income, I don't have a lot of time to play the game, so he dumps a bunch of money into microtransactions, and he gets better weapons, better gear, and he's better equipped for the online multiplayer. But Tim on the other side here is your average gamer who just wants to play the game and have fun with it, and now he's connecting to online matches and stuff and getting his ass kicked because he didn't dump another $120 into this game, because you shouldn't have to. And that's the point of microtransactions where it's wrong. When you are giving developers more money for stuff that should already be in this video game, and you're essentially paying to be better at the game online, that's where games like this fall apart. And I think EA, on one hand, is definitely missing the mark with consumers on this whole practice. They've done it with Battlefield, now they're doing it with Battlefront. And the other important thing to note, and I threw up that meme in there for, very simplistic reasons, it's this whole internet backlash, this is just one collective hive mind of the world. So there's a small percentage of people that aren't going to buy Battlefront 2 because they're pissed about the microtransactions. I get it. But does that mean every single person in the world's not going to buy Battlefront 2? No, the game's still going to be successful. There's still going to be people out there that contribute to buying the microtransactions in this game, and it's still going to sell. That's the point of this entire thing. It will still sell. It doesn't matter until you have so many people vote with their wallet and say, you know what, this shit is ridiculous, we're done. It's not going to stop. Now, where I think there's examples of loot crates and microtransactions being okay in a game would be something like either Overwatch or Rocket League. Now, I'm not a big Rocket League guy, I'm going to be honest. I've played maybe an hour of that game total. It's just not my thing. I respect the people that love that game. I know people that are super into it. It's just not my thing. However, Overwatch is a pretty cool game, and I like it a lot, and I've played a lot of it. The thing I like about Overwatch, and that's why I'll use this as an example, because I know more about it than Rocket League, is that everything that's in a loot crate is cosmetic. They're all cosmetic items. All those items do are change your appearance, and that's it. They might give you a different voice dialogue line, or you might get a new spray or a new little emblem in the game or something like that. But the point is, you're not earning new weapons that make you better at the game. It's not a pay-to-win model. It's just cosmetic items. I have friends that have spent some money in Overwatch, if we're being honest, and, you know, got really into this. And that's fine. I get it. I super get it. I'm okay with that. If that's what you want to do with your game, and you want consumers to dump a little more money into this and continue the game that way, that's fine, because it's not hindering the gameplay in any way whatsoever. Whereas you look at something like Battlefront 2, and that can severely hamper the game. Before EA came out and said that they are changing the pay rate in the game of how much credits you earn to buy some of these heroes down, I think it's like they reduced it like 75% or something like that. Like before they did that, it was astronomical. You had to put, I think somebody sat down and wrote a spreadsheet over the weekend when this trial came out and figured out it would take you 40 gameplay hours of just sheer multiplayer playing to unlock these characters. That's ridiculous. Without paying. Of course, you can pay and get this stuff sooner, but that is what it is. So that kind of shit is ridiculous. That's what should be stopping. But the important thing that everybody needs to understand and people don't talk about with this whole argument is, on the other side of things, mobile games have been doing this for years, and a lot of them survive just fine. Look at one of the biggest offenders of this situation, a game called Game of War. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go on the App Store. They recently launched a Game of War clone. I believe it's the same people, set in the Final Fantasy 15 universe. So this game is riddled with microtransactions. There's that other one. I can't think of the name of it, but it's Arnold Schwarzenegger was the, you know, spokesperson for it, I guess, for a while. Maybe it's called Mobile Assault. I don't remember. You guys can correct me in the comments below. But the point is, mobile games have been doing this for a while, and has this practice stopped? Absolutely not. These games still exist. They're still raking in money every day, every week, every month, every year. These games are still doing a lot of money. I'm going to be incredibly honest. I play one mobile game, and it's WWE Supercard. You know, I think I've told you guys before on the channel before, I am a pretty big wrestling fan. Supercard is just a weird, almost clicker-like card game. It's just a numbers-based game. I'll be honest, I've dumped $20 into it just to see what would happen. I was just curious. This is over the course of me playing that game for the last 2 years off and on. So, and at that point I was like, you know what, I've played this game and gotten enjoyment out of it almost every day, just on kind of a menial, like, whatever, you know, I got 5 minutes to kill, get a quick game in, whatever. I felt like 20 bucks was appropriate, and you know what, I don't feel compelled to ever put money into that game again. But the point is, these games have existed a lot longer in the mobile space, and we're starting to see that now invade into console games and PC games and all this other stuff. And, you know, the console gamers are a lot more vocal of a community than people that only play mobile games. So, you know, is there a community of people that only play mobile games? I'm sure there is. There's a community for everything. So, you know, if I'm being insensitive there, I apologize. But it's a thing that's been going on constantly in mobile games for years. So it comes to no surprise that somebody would take that business model, pluck it, and drop it into console gaming. But it gets kind of disgusting. You know, the biggest problem that I see with Star Wars Battlefront 2 is this game was supposed to be kind of the second coming of these Battlefront games. You know, when they put that first game out, it was incredibly criticized for not having enough content and then locking a lot of that content away with an additional $50 season pass. So if you wanted the full complete Battlefront 1 experience, you had to pay upwards of over $100, I believe it'd be like 110 something, to get the full complete experience for that game. Now, EA made a lot of good promises at E3 this year by coming out, by, you know, stating all these facts of, hey guys, we're not going to have any DLC, we're going to give everything to you for free. and you had to expect that it would come at a cost. Now, other games have done this. I would applaud games like Gears of War 4 and Halo 5 for doing this correctly. You can buy packs for their multiplayer matches, but they don't really hinder or take away anything from that game experience. Now, in a game mode like Warzone, you do get better weapons in those weapon packs, but you're not really fighting against other teams. You're fighting against AI. So I don't feel like that's really that big of a deal. Also, the reason those microtransactions in those two games exist is so they can give you these maps for free. And that's a real big positive. Now, I think with Gears of War 4, I'm going to clarify, because somebody will blast me in the comments for this. I believe they do like a rotation of the DLC maps in that game, but you could also buy a season pass to just own those maps at all times, so you could play them offline. That part of it was kind of shady to me. I never bought the season pass for the game because I thought that was stupid personally. However, Halo 5 did it where they just gave you everything for free, and if you didn't want to, you obviously wanted everything for free because they didn't want to fracture that community like they did with Halo 4 and previous Halo games by making people buy map packs. Because let's be honest, a lot of people don't buy map packs with the exception of Call of Duty players. And the other argument, and this is where I get a little upset with the internet collective hive mind jumping on EA, and I'm not trying to defend EA. I'm gonna be I'll be directly as honest with you as I can. EA is a shitty company. They make a lot of shitty business decisions. It is what it is. However, the problem I have is just this vitriol and collective internet hive mind is so far up EA's ass with this whole situation that you look at another big franchise that's over here that no one is talking about, and that's Call of Duty. Call of Duty's been doing this for years. They've been doing season passes every single game. Now they do loot crates and microtransactions, and they just filter their games with this shit like crazy. And it is a pay-to-win thing. In Call of Duty, this is pay-to-win. You pay, you get better weapons and better gear for multiplayer matches. I know, I had a buddy who bought a lot of that shit for Infinite Warfare. It's one of his favorite games to play online in the last year. And I laughed every time he did it because I was like, you're throwing money away. You're literally throwing money away because in a year, you're going to have to buy another Call of Duty and do it all over again. It's not like you're going to be playing this game for years on end. You know what I mean? So that's where I have a problem with this, is because the collective internet hive mind that is complaining about this game, a lot of them, I'm going to argue, probably were never going to buy Star Wars Battlefront to begin with, and a lot of them are also Call of Duty gamers. And those people have been putting up with this shit for years. They don't really seem that put down by it. When I worked at GameStop, you don't know how many season passes I sold for Call of Duty without really hardly having to ask. People would just run up, plop down the money, look at the little sheet that was printed out on the counter, see that there's a season pass, go, yep, here's another $50, I want that too. Day one, that shit's not even out yet. You're usually waiting until end of January, beginning of February to get the first map pack. You're plunking down $50. That's the price of another Call of Duty game, essentially, for something that isn't out for like 3 months. You're giving these developers money for something that isn't out yet. And yes, you can make the same argument about pre-orders, but pre-orders you can get your money back. It's really hard to pay for a download content and then try and get your money back. It's really hard to do that. You can't go back to GameStop and say, hey, you know what, I just decided I don't want this DLC I bought. That's not how it works, man. It's digital content. Once you've purchased it, it's pretty much yours. Now, some companies like Microsoft, and I think Sony is starting to too, you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but some companies are starting to do refunds on this stuff, but it's pretty strict. So, anyways, guys, this whole thing is an incredible shit show, and it's going to be really interesting. I cannot wait till we get to the beginning of December and the NPD numbers come out, because I want to see where Battlefront falls. I want to see if the collective internet hive mind actually won this battle, but I'm going to guess that they probably didn't, because people are still going to buy Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm still buying Star Wars Battlefront 2. But I'm also a crazy person that loves Star Wars, and I want to play that campaign. I think what I played of it was really cool. I have also read that it's only 4 hours long. I'm not necessarily put down by that. You know, and honestly, I have the Best Buy Gamers Club Unlocked card. I have Amazon Prime. I'm not even paying $60 for this game, so I don't really care, man. Like, at the end of the day, it's not really that big of a deal for me. However, I understand for people on the other side that only buy maybe 2 or 3 games a year, and they're making a big decision, and they look at this and go, man, there's a lot of shit going on here. Maybe I shouldn't buy this game right now. I get it. I fully understand. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about the EA fiasco and this microtransaction loot crate bullshit. What's going on with it? It seems like it's a topic that's been a hot button item for a couple months now, but it's really come to a head with Star Wars Battlefront 2. What do you guys think about it? Do you guys think it's going to change anytime soon? Do you think that it's just going to continue? I'm curious to know. So anyways, guys, leave your comments in the comment section below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.